Welcome back, everyone, to the final credits. This week we went to go see possibly the ending, probably not, to the John Wick series. We saw John Wick Chapter 4, and we have our thoughts. Oh, we have our thoughts. We're gonna try to format a little bit differently. First thing I want to talk about the overarching story. The final story for this one is essentially John doing what he does and just laying bodies out everywhere, but finally possibly gets to a point where he have a little bit of redemption in his life right now. I felt like this was a very good part of the story, and that it definitely could have worked a little bit better. Couple of things kind of misstepped here and there, but overall I thought it was a very good story that we were dealing with right now. Guys, chime in.
It was the story got to a conclusion after everything John Wick's been through. Is it possibly the end, like you mentioned? I hope not. But this was the best one since the original, but my favorite because I finally got to see a John Wick in theaters.
All right, fair.
Yeah, I'm relatively new to the John Wick series, pretty much because we wanted to see this movie. So I gave myself kind of like quick crash course over the week before we saw it. John Wick is great as a series. I like, all the different sequences, action scenes that they have and everything. Obviously, the stunts are crazy. It's John Wick is a lot. Those movies are a lot to deal with, man. It's, like I said, the action scenes are great, but like they're super packed with just like tons of gunshots, like everybody, punching, stabbing each other, like little to no like dialogue. There's a great storyline, like backstory to the whole like overarching story of the series, which I like. Delving into the deep underground where like all these bounty hunters, kind of work and have their own network together, and there's like they have their own radio station and everything, which is great.
Will be covered in a future collection video.
Yeah, just
can't wait for that one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So going into this, I knew what to expect, obviously, and I just felt like they dialed everything up to 11. Like, if you thought that there was a lot of action,
a lot more than 11.
Mm-hmm.
like 20 now, and it's like every 5 seconds there's just some crazy shit going on that you're just like just looking like every which way every 5 seconds, and it's classic John Wick. The drama is there, the action's there, the characters I feel like are at their best. I felt like John Wick was not like weak, but I felt like he was surrounded by characters that were somewhat cooler than him. Kane especially.
We're gonna get to that, Johnny, I promise. What Spade, how do you feel about the story?
Oh, listen, overall, between all four, or are we just talking about just this one?
No. We're focusing on number 4 right now.
Listen.
Be patient, Spade. We're gonna get to the collection video. I promise.
Regardless of all four or not, the fourth movie tied up so many loose ends, in my opinion, that I think if they stopped it right here, great. If they continue, great. Either or to me is all right. Because let's be real, you're not going to go see John Wick for the storyline, but it's nice to have a storyline too.
Yes.
It's I don't even think the issue is like the storyline with this movie. It's just because it does tie up like a lot of stuff that the previous movies were setting up, and any loose ends that they had. But I just felt like a lot of scenes went without logic. A lot, like they sacrificed a lot of logic just to make action scenes happen. Like in the club, people are dancing, there's music, yeah, it's loud, but clearly there is somebody being stabbed to death right next to you, and everybody's just still dancing. Like
this has me so much that you haven't caught on to, but that's also because you haven't seen all the other movies, because that happens in every John Wick movie to the original.
Yes.
I'm just saying though.
Right. We
It's,
are moving on though right now. Guys, let's talk about the players of the game right here. Let's talk about
Oh, what a
this in
so good.
particular movie. Overall standout, gotta say, before anyone else, and I know I'm gonna get agrees with this one, Donnie coming for your ass, Yen.
Yeah.
Oh my god. At first I was a little worried because I'm like, okay, how is he going to play a blind assassin?
Again,
Again, yeah, guys, you're one cast away from making this man a typecast. Stop this. Stop this.
100%.
But at the same time, though, the way how it was played, his action scenes were phenomenal. But at the same time, I felt like him speaking was him just staring at people. I didn't get the sense that he was blind at all. But then again, I'm not looking for Oscar-worthy performances from this movie. What do you guys think of the other acting choices in this movie?
Well,
Look, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go like quickly real quick of all the characters that I thought were great. Ian McShane, amazing as always. There's not one thing that I can see him in that he sucks in. I have yet to see a show, a movie that I feel like he doesn't perform like he's supposed to. Right? Like Scott Adkins.
Tender for that, but please.
Scott Adkins, when he plays the, I'm not even going to spoil it for you people, but he plays a character who should not be doing what he's able to do, and he's doing it, right? Obviously Keanu Reeves, right? Who else do we got? Donnie Yen was great. R.I.P. to Lance Riddick.
That can I talk about that for a sec? Like, that was a crazy ass parallel. That was a crazy ass parallel.
that was very haunting.
Yeah, and not only the scene where he gets killed, but also there was an additional scene after that where, you see like the gravesite with like his character's name on it, and it's just like this was made before he actually passed away. So it was just so like Pancake said, just chilling to see that. Like it was just like everybody was just like uncomfortable in the theater when those scenes happened.
For me, Donnie Yang was the ultimate scene stealer, even right up to Keanu Reeves himself. He had the second best arc in the movie. Ian McShane, probably my second favorite from the whole franchise. He's a scene stealer. And somebody I didn't know was in the movie. He had a small role, but he always dominates the screen when he comes on. Mr. Krabs himself, Clancy Brown.
Yes! Thank you, someone else, for bringing this up. Oh, I love Clancy Brown so much. He's so like.
I was bringing him up, but I lost my train of thought with the
He
the Lance
should have been
Riddick.
first, Spade. He should have been
Whatever.
first.
I will say I feel like he was underutilized a little bit. He was used more near the end, but I felt like the scenes.
I don't think so.
First, but you don't
Disagree.
saw him in like one of the first scenes, and then you don't really see him again until towards the last arc.
Because that's what his character is needed for. His character
Yeah.
wasn't to be central, pivotal to the thing. That was Bill Skarsgård's character, as the what was his name, the Marquis or whatever.
Yes. Oh my God. Skarsgård did such an amazing job. I wanted to wring his throat. Like he played like a very good Joffrey in a sense, where like does such a good job. You just like hate his character, everything he stands for. Phenomenal job.
To add on to that, I know you have to do things to establish the ultimate villain at the sacrifice of other characters. Unfortunately, Lance Reddick's character, but one character that he got rid of, which, it didn't affect the movie, but I was sad to see the New York Continental get destroyed. I know, the Japanese we'll get to it. I know the Japan Continental had more of a bigger part, but so much bitter feelings when you have to sacrifice beloved characters to establish, but Bill Skarsgård did an amazing job. He comes from a whole family of actors. We could do a whole video on that itself.
Really.
But I hated him every single time he was on the screen. Man, but he was good in his role.
Well, it's funny that you bring up the Continental pancakes, because now we're gonna jump over to the special effects for this movie, guys. we seen some things go down, and we seen some shit get blown up. Obviously, a lot of death going on in this movie. A lot of fire. Didn't expect as much fire in this movie as I did, but what'd you guys think of it? How'd you guys like the effects with this?
They were really good, but I feel like you hear that same gunshot sound a lot.
Well,
You know exactly which gunshot sound is John Wick's.
yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, yes.
He has his own distinct gunshot sound.
I don't think it was anything out of the ordinary. I think it was, whatever. It wasn't great. Okay.
It wasn't.
It wasn't
anything
Avatar, but it also wasn't Top Gun. It was somewhere in the middle.
I'll just put it into 4 words with the special effects. All out, balls out. How they did the special effects.
Okay. Now I can get that. I can definitely get on top of that. Something that I always look for or try to look for in every other kind of movie that I'm looking into is definitely the music or the themes. Like, for example, I am not kidding. For one of my D&D characters, I make a playlist for like all my characters and such. I've told these guys about it. For one of these characters specifically, I use 2 different John Wick themes for the same character as he's just like,
Yes.
walking around. And I gotta say, in this movie, the music also did not disappoint. Guys, your thoughts?
I don't think it ever disappoints. I think the soundtrack is always on par with the action and with the storytelling of the movie and everything. I think it was well rounded.
Yeah, it definitely goes
Right.
into the intensity of the action scenes, and then like other scenes like during the final duel scene, like just even like keeping it quiet, knowing exactly when to come back in. I think whoever composed the score, I think knew what they were doing, so no problems here.
In the club scene, you hear how the intensity of the EDM music just pick up, dancing, but they absolutely nailed it with the music. I forget what was the name of the song at when John Wick's gonna face his ultimate trial. It was like such the perfect fit in that moment. Like I'm going through the list now.
I was about to say, I wish you would have asked.
Oh,
What had what's up?
I think it was "I Would Die for You."
Maybe, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, no, that sounds like a John Wick song.
Yeah,
Hell, the one that I listened to that I just said earlier is called Plastic Heart. Still great. It's the theme for the second one. But I'm glad that you brought up the club scene because something I would kind of want to talk about real quick. At least like our favorite or key scenes that you enjoyed from this movie right now. I want to say, honestly, probably the staircase, like that.
Yeah.
Fire sequence.
Yeah. I would, yeah.
Oh,
You know what it reminded me of? You know what the staircase reminded me of?
what?
It reminded me of me playing a video game, and
Mario 64.
and I kept falling and going all the way to the bottom of the level and had to start right back up again. It was amazing.
First Crash Bandicoot video game, but yeah,
I was thinking the endless stairs in Mario 64, but I guess I'm biased.
no, you Johnny 64 towards Nintendo. I don't know about that.
While we're on the subject of that stair scene, though, he did not need to tumble all the way down.
That's what
So
I'm
now,
saying.
when he got pushed, there were sections of that staircase that were wide enough where he could have just like laid and stopped. I feel like he was forcing himself to just keep going.
Yeah, but listen, he was tired. He was tired. Think of it as he was recharging as he was falling down.
No, he could have like easily held on to a banister as he was rolling. Like there were so many things he could have done, but he just went all the way to the bottom because plot.
It was the Kevlar in his suit.
That was at least fine, guys. You don't need to talk about this staircase the entire time, but what was your guys' favorite ones? Don't say staircase now. That one's fine.
Look, the end the duel. I think the duel was cool. It was very simple, and to be honest with you, I didn't really see that coming. I really thought that I really thought that they would both shoot each other or one would miss or something like that.
Yeah, I had myself head speed during that. Gotta say.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, okay, didn't see that happening, but all right, cool. And look, the whole movie is, I think overall, it's hard to put into words which one you like the best because I feel like the intensity was high when the movie started and it kept going higher and higher and higher. So it was like, ooh, how do we outdo the last 5 minutes? Let's just do something that's even more insane in the next 5 minutes. So that whole movie, I mean, if you have heart issues, don't go watching it because you're going to have a heart attack at the end.
I went to
So just so I can answer the question too. I think if you're gonna come to see the movie, you're gonna want to see it for that that pivotal scene where the entire underground is after him when he's trying to get to the final duel. You have like this is where you see like that underground radio station. You have like that girl like announcing everything that like every movement that he's making. You see like emailing it. Yeah, and like that whole sequence, like leading up to the staircase, like that whole sequence where he's trying to even get there. That's the overall scene you want to watch this movie for, I think, because that's where like what Pancake said, like was it balls out, guns out, or whatever. Like that was just
all out, balls out.
all out, balls out, gunshots, stabbings, whatever you think like happened in that scene.
I'm gonna take a little different. I'm gonna take a little different approach for my answer. I love all those scenes. I like the calm before the storm scenes. Like one big example was in the Seward when they asked him, "What do you want written on your gravestone?" and he didn't know, but out of his 380 words, he said in dialogue, "Beloved husband." That's what I once said, and this was early on in the movie, but the rooftop in Japan.
Yeah, that was good too.
And I'd say, Pancakes, not to interrupt, I'll give you 2 more seconds with this, but like my favorite shot of the entire movie was just seeing John on the rooftop in Japan, right next to that tree with the light in the background. It was such a beautiful shot. Oh my god. I'm sorry. Please continue.
And the very beginning when, in the desert when he's riding the horses, and and he wants to finish. He wants to finish this whole deal with the high table once for all, and he's chasing those guys on the horses, and it's just leading up, and and one by one. So that laid the foundation for the whole movie in the desert scene to confront the elder, which picked up from the previous movie, which we'll address later. But those calm before your storm scenes, then the action really picked up. That was a big table setter for me.
Well, it's funny that you guys mentioned the duel scene with this. So, guys, how do we feel about the ending? How do we feel about the possible ending to this series right now with how things have gone right now and the post-credit scene? Because in this movie, we did get a post-credit scene.
I'll see you guys at the movie theaters in 3 years watching John Wick 5.
Mm-hmm.
I was happy with the ending until the post-credit scene.
We're going to go to the movie theaters and see John Wick 5. Don't even worry about it.
I'm not saying we're not. I'm just saying, how do we feel what we got right now?
It's a cliffhanger, and they want us to guess. They're going to say he's dead for now. We all have our doubts. But in 3 years, Chapter 5, here we come.
His Kevlar suit protects all. I feel like right now, this is a maybe
Cop-out?
a transition.
I'm less a cop-out, but more of like, okay, we've left the series at a good stopping point. If we want to continue on, if we want to make more money, then we have that option to do so. Which is nice, but at the same time, we can stop it right here. But as for right now, for our final thoughts of the movie, I'm going to give this one a 4 out of 5 right now. This was a very good movie, a very good ending point at this time. It was everything that I at least said in my prediction, and then some. Guys, how you feel?
My movie of the year so far.
All right.
Give it a strong 3.7 out of 5.
All right. All right, Marstool.
Just saying.
If we're doing a skill,
No, we're not. No, we're not. We're not doing Barstool.
Look,
I'll round it up to 4.
There you go. Better.
I'm going to put it in my top 3 of the year.
All right.
And my top 3 of the year are Scream 6, John Wick, and
Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but that's in no particular order, by the way.
So, no.
Really?
I heard everything I need to hear. And before anyone else can say anything else, guys, thank you very much for watching the video. Please like and subscribe down at the bottom. Until then, roll credits. We're out.
Roll credits.
Really? Above Creed 3?
Oh, I forgot about Creed 3.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, that's what I was going to say. I was like, wait.
Oh,
I forgot about Creed 3.
I tell you what.